Welcome back to the channel, folks. I'm Dave Keefe. This is Avernus Biker Lifestyle, and today I've just got one question for you. Are you Q4 ready? Now, I'm going to be really brave here and say this is probably one of the most important videos that I've done for a lot of reasons. Now, I know a lot of people will be saying this is way too early to be getting all jingle belly and thinking about the Christmas period, but there is no better time for a reseller to be getting ahead of the game. We're rapidly approaching Q4. Q4 stands for quarter four, October, November, December. Obviously the run up to Christmas, and this is an incredibly busy time for retailers in general, not least resellers. Now, I know quite a lot of you that have been with the channel for a while will know that I started my reselling journey on a part-time basis at the back end of 2017. I started with just £20 on the 27th of November. And in between then and Christmas Day, I did around about the £5,000 mark. So that's what got me hook, line and sinker into the reselling. So just doing it on a part-time basis, like I say, and it made me realise just what was possible. Now, the aim of today's video is to give you more of a leg up than I had when I started. I was going into it very, very green, and in hindsight, a bit late in the year, but I wasn't to know any better. So I've got 10 points here today that will arm you for Q4 to get the best possible results. As always with my videos, your feedback is absolutely invaluable. So if you've got any questions or comments that you want to chuck in the comment section below, I'm all ears. If there's something that you feel that I should have mentioned, I take criticism very, very well, but here we go. Okay, so number one on my list is a very, very obvious one. It's just stock levels. Stock levels are a priority all year round, obviously, but no more so on the run up to Christmas. Now is the time to be investing any spare money you've got into stock. Now is the time to be investing your time, most particularly in getting out and getting sourcing. Any spare time that you have got needs to be outsourcing, getting stock in, ready for the start of Q4. You need to be hitting car boot sales, charity shops, auctions, online sniping, all the sources of avenues available for sourcing to you, you need to be cracking on with. Let's be getting your stock shelves full, ready for the Christmas rush. Now, point number two goes hand in hand with that. I'll link it just above here. I did a video on my stocking system, how I operate that. It's very, very straightforward, but it enables me to process my orders very, very quickly. The more you get into the swing of Q4, it normally has a slow start building up towards the end of October, and obviously really does hit a rapid rate of knots on the final run up to Christmas. So you need to be able to have the ability to process your orders quickly and efficiently. Just to recap on my stocking system, it's simply a case of recording the location on my stocking shelves, the date I listed it, and how much I paid for it. With those three bits of information, I can produce the orders very, very quickly and get them out the door with as little hassle as possible. Now, points number 3 and 4 are all about preparation. Now, I'm a former army man, but a lot of you will be familiar with this expression. Prior preparation and planning prevents piss poor performance. And this is very much the case with these 2 points here. So supplies, you obviously need to make sure you've got enough packaging supplies. Again, as part and parcel of quickly processing your orders, you don't want to be going out to have to get things that you've forgotten to be able to process your orders. And likewise, your packaging tools, are your scissors that you use for packing, are they going to stand the extra pace on the run up to Christmas? Are they near the end of the shelf life? Is your tape dispenser falling apart? Just think outside the box, guys, about the tools that you're going to need to process the orders most efficiently. Again, like I say, number 4 goes hand in hand with that. Clear your workspace. If you've got clutter around where you process your orders, or in your stock room, if you have a stock room, or your stock area, if there's clutter that doesn't need to be there, get it out of the way. Just have efficiency absolutely drummed into your mind, and think about things that you can do to eliminate any potential hiccups and cock-ups along the way. Point number 5 is something that is going to require a bit of investment in time, but it is going to be absolutely well worth the investment of that time, and that's optimizing your listings. Now, I know different people are going to have different amounts of items listed. Currently, I have 480 items listed. So even at that level, it's going to take me some time to go through, but I know that it is worth that investment of time. Now, what I mean by optimizing your listings, a lot of it is just common sense. You need to check for typos in your keywords, in your title, and in your description. A typo in a keyword could mean that the potential buyer can't find that listing. And the typo in the description, it just gives that extra level of impression that you're not actually a professional seller. It just taints the well as far as your professionality is concerned. Now, as well as checking for typos, you need to revise your keywords. Think about the particular listing you're looking at, and think of ways you can improve on any keywords. Keywords are absolutely essential to help people find your item. So the more reflective they are and the more accurate they are, then the more chance that more people are going to see your listing. The more people that see your listing, the more of an increased chance you're going to get a sale from it. Now, one box on the listing creation page that's often missed is the condition description. Just under where you're required to enter the condition of the item, whether it's new or used, you'll see the box for condition description. Now, on desktop, it's not the same on mobile, but on desktop, that is as effective as a subtitle, purely and simply because it's displayed, that sentence is displayed underneath the heading. Now, it's not necessarily searchable. However, if somebody on desktop lands on your listing and there is clear eye-catching wording underneath the title of your item, then that's extra keyword real estate. If your item is in mint condition, put it in that box, because the people are going to see that underneath the title of the item. They're going to see condition description, mint condition, and it's just an extra selling point. Use that space, guys. Now, on the run up to Christmas, a point that going hand in hand with keywords is seasonal keywords. Now, what I mean by that, your item might lend itself to being a gift. So you might like to consider using keywords such as Christmas present, ideal gift, Christmas gift, or Secret Santa. You get the idea. It just adds to, put yourself in the shoes of people that are shopping for work colleagues, for friends and family. What might they be searching for? I've done it myself. I've gone on eBay without a clue what to get for anybody, and I've searched gifts for my auntie. You get the idea. So if you put yourself in the mind of your buyers, then it increases your chances. Now, this next one's a really, really important point. We're still on the subject of optimizing your listings. Check your picture quality. People buy with their eyes, so your pictures need to be on point from the very, very get-go. But it doesn't hurt to cast your eye over them as part of optimizing your listings process is concerned. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you over to my photo booth and show you how I do my pictures. Okay, so you've probably seen my photo booth set up in previous videos, but just to go through it, it's not anything hyper technical. All I've got is a piece of white ply that I've bent and screwed into place on an MDF background to give it that infinity background. They call it an infinity background because when you're taking a picture of something straight on, there's no definitive corner behind the item. And I started off with big umbrella kind of soft boxes that were quite cheap, available on Amazon, and replaced with some LEDs that are perfect, not tripping over them too much. So we've got an LED panel up here for light from above, and two of these light bars, 1, 2, to give light directly onto the front of the object. So what I'm going to do is strap the GoPro to my head and give you a first person view of how I go about taking my pictures. Okay, so I've got a couple examples of stuff to picture here. A pair of trainers and a game. I started out selling board games, so still doing a lot of different type games like that. So we'll start with the shoes first. Now, I'm not a big fan of making sure that there's a lot of lace in the picture. I want people to see as much of the item as humanly possible. So I'll tuck the laces in. And a very, very good investment. Shoe stretchers, some people call them shoe trees. It just adds extra form to the shoe when you're taking pictures and gives the impression of a foot inside it. Sometimes when you're picking up shoes, you'll notice the front's depressed and it just makes them look a little bit more worn than they actually are. But with these shoe stretchers in place, give the shoe a nice bit of form and look as you intend them. You'll have to excuse the grub on these. I haven't actually, this is just demonstration purposes. I haven't actually cleaned these for sale yet. So you want to be showing every possible angle and every possible side, every defect, to give people ultimate confidence in what they're buying. So my first shot for shoes and boots is always on an angle. I like to show that they're matching and just make the picture a little bit more interesting than just a flat pair of shoes. So I just use my iPhone to take the pictures. Always use square mode. I'm not familiar with Android phones. I'm assuming it's all the same. Because the pictures on eBay are square, and because pictures on Google for the likes of their results when they're pulling up eBay listings on Google searches, they're square as well. So search engines and eBay like the images to be square. So set your camera mode to square. Get as much of the item in the picture as possible. Try not make any of the item go outside of the image, and then snap it. You'll see from what I mean about the background, you can't actually see any corner behind the item. Now I'll just go through the series of pictures I take on footwear. So the next one will be a side on, just to give a more of a stereotypical kind of view of the item. And then try and keep your phone in the same position when you're moving around, because sometimes if you're using light, if you change the position of your camera or your phone, it can change how the light sensor reacts. So try and keep it in the same place and move the item in the shot. So basically what I'm aiming for here is a 360 series of images. One from the back to show any even or uneven wear on the heel. And again from the inside. Everybody's interested in wear on the soles of the shoes. And for the next shots I'm going to have to move the camera anyway. Taking the laces out of the way. Zooming in slightly, taking a picture of the insoles. And finally, the size label. Another point I note on this taking pictures, I don't like to have, I've got very blokey fingers and fingernails, so I don't like to have my fingers in. I'm not self-conscious about them, but it's just the impression you're giving. If I've got grubby nails, then I don't want to be frightening people off, basically. Okay, so just go through the images I've taken in reverse order. Lastly, the label, it just obviously gives the size. This is a good point on, this is a good idea on 2 points. It obviously shows the customer that it's a genuine article and the different sizes and any other relevant information. But when you come to list it, if you've already put the item in your stock room, then it just reminds you, if you've already forgotten, what size the item actually is and the breakdown of other sizes in different countries. So if you can imagine these pictures on your eBay listing, there's pretty much every angle covered. If there are any defects, then obviously you want to be zooming in on the defects as well and mentioning them in the item description. So that's for shoes. Next one, board games. Because of shadows, I like to take a picture of the boxes stood up. But sometimes, as is with this case, you have to improvise because boxes, particularly used boxes, want to open themselves. So just take a picture of the lid. So on board games, I like to try and keep it as interesting as possible. If you take a picture of the flat front surface of a box, it just looks a bit bland. But if it's on a slight skew, it just makes the picture look slightly more interesting and gives the image more depth. Just change your camera position on the GoPro because you probably couldn't see it where I stood. That's what I mean about the box being slightly skewed. Gives a picture more interest. And as I say, as with the shoes, make sure you've used as much real estate on the viewer as you possibly can. What you want to do is show the condition of the box as well. So my second picture will be the back of the box. Again, a slight skew. If there's any interesting information on the details on the back of the box, take a picture of that as well. Now again, this game hasn't been processed or checked, but what I will be doing with this game is bagging everything up to make it, to give the impression that it's been looked after. Aside from the base plates, any relevant bits and pieces, make a point of spreading them out. If it's cards or if it's any special pieces, make sure you give the impression that they're all there. So just for demonstration purposes, imagine all the small parts are neatly in a bag. Take a picture of the group of items and then zoom in. Now you've got 12 spaces for pictures available. If you can use all of them, it's not absolutely necessary though. I would even go so far as insisting that you use 4 or more images, even if you have to just take slightly different angles of an item, because pictures sell. People, like I said before, people buy with their eyes. So the more pictures you've got, the more descriptive you're being visually. So the next subheading on optimizing your listings is your price competitive. When you listed that particular item, it may well have been bang on the money. Because you will have listed it as a buy it now, you'll be aiming at the higher end of what the item's selling for. But if the item's been listed for a while, that price might not necessarily still be relevant. So check the price is competitive. But if it's too high, consider tweaking it. Obviously bearing in mind how much you paid for it in the first place. Now I know all you astute folks will have your listings as buy it now, which I highly recommend as opposed to auctions. Again, in the vein of putting yourself in the minds of your buyers. People want stuff straight away. They don't want to keep the fingers crossed for 7 days and hope they might get something. They want it there and then. That's where they're in shopping mode. So all your listings should be buy it now. Equally as important, you need to have the require immediate payment box ticked as well. Just having that box ticked will save you a lot of headaches. You don't have to wait for money to come into your account. You don't have to wait for the money to be transacted to you after somebody makes a purchase. They've agreed to purchase it and they're giving you the money straight away. I find if you don't have that ticked, people have up to, I think it's 48 hours to pay for an item after they've purchased it. And that, as you can possibly imagine, does create headaches. People can change their mind in that time. I've had instances in the past where it's just been dreamers clicking the buy button. There's an increased chance of people using the I didn't mean to do that excuse, which I'm sure anybody who's been reselling for a while has had on a number of occasions. So a strong recommendation, make sure the require immediate payment box is ticked. Top tip number 6, respond to messages as soon as possible. The amount of times I've done exactly that and been praised for it, then it all adds to buyer confidence and it impresses the hell out of a lot of people. It's courteous, it's professional, and that's how you need to be presenting yourself. If somebody's waiting a day, 2 days, 3 days for you to get back to them when they're interested in buying your product, it puts you in a poor light. So respond to messages as soon as you possibly can. Point number 7, don't be afraid to send offers out. If somebody clicks watch on your item, then you'll have the opportunity to send them an offer. Now the minimum offer amount is 5% off, but obviously use your own discretion with that. I use it all the time and it's really, really effective. My conversion rate on sending offers of just 5%, sometimes 10%, depending on how much margin's in an item. The conversion rate for sales is absolutely excellent. So don't be afraid to send offer to buyers. You'll see the link on the summary page on mobile, or you'll see it on your overview on desktop. You can either set it as a percentage off, or you can set it as a numerical value off the item. You can even do it as a batch. So if you've got a notification on your overview saying you've got 6 items that are eligible to send offers, you can send bulk offers of 5%. In that instance, I would recommend you send obviously a percentage off rather than numerical value, because those items will be priced differently. I know that's an obvious thing to say, but just want to cover my backside on that one. Don't be getting in trouble. Point number 8, again in the vein of customer service, post on time or early. On my store, my dispatch time is set to 2 days. It used to be 1 day, but but it was a nightmare and very, very stressful keeping on top of. I did trial switching it to 2 days, and I saw absolutely no effect, no negative effect on my store whatsoever, and it's given me a bit of breathing space to process orders and batch orders as well. So I'm doing fewer trips to the post office and the courier drop-off point, which frees up more of my time to do important things like sourcing. Point number 9, don't take your foot off the pedal. As soon as Q4 kicks in, you will be amazed how quickly you get to Christmas Day. You're going to be rushed off your feet. Prepare yourself for it, but keep going. Keep finding every single possible opportunity to go out sourcing and get those things listed as quickly as possible. Don't just think it falls off a cliff come Christmas Day either. I've made sales at 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Day. People panicking that they've forgotten something, what they were thinking, how quickly they would get the items. I just don't know, but it does happen. Sales still happen quite a lot during Christmas week. People buy gifts during Christmas week for when they visit family over New Year. So keep going. One way you can do that is plan your sourcing routes in advance. This makes sure that when you get out of the house to do your sourcing, it's as efficient as it possibly can be. Also, in the respect of car boots, obviously this time of year, the weather starts going touch on the iffy side, shall we say. Do some research into wet weather car boots, indoor car boots. Think outside the box. My final point on this list, number 10, keep on top of things. Keep on top of your financial records. When you're out doing more sourcing than you probably normally would do, there's more receipts flying around. Obviously, you've still got to tell the taxman what you're up to come the end of the financial year. So keep on top of them. At the minute, I'm doing my books about twice a week, and that's enough. That's enough so it's not snowballing and it's not a pain in the backside to do all in one go once a week, say. But that's going to be increasing to 4 to 5 times a week, just to make sure everything's squared away. I don't want to be spending my Christmas week with the family going through all my paperwork. Keep on top of your consumables, plan in advance. If you're getting low on postal bags, bubble wrap, etc., get the ordering. I do a lot of my ordering from Amazon, with a few bits and pieces on eBay as well. The links are in the description, by the way, of all the packaging supplies I use. So if you need to order any, then obviously check the description below. Hand in hand with that is obviously ink cartridges for your printer, all the consumables you might need. Make sure you're not going to run out. Try and plan in advance, even if you have to order more than you think you're going to need. You're going to use it sooner or later, but this is the time of year where you don't want to be running out of stuff. You don't want to have to be waiting for things to turn up so you can process your orders. And the last point, and definitely the most important point of keeping on top of things, is keeping on top of your sanity. Take time for yourself. Take a step back from what you're doing. Take a breather. If you find you're getting yourself stressed out, worked up about something, it's easy to do. Just take the dog out for a walk, go for a coffee with a friend, just get out of the way for an hour or two, take a few deep breaths, and then come back to it fresh. In the same vein, take time for your loved ones. You're going to be busy. There's no two ways about it. And again, I appreciate the fact that people's stores and people's situations are different. Some people are going to have a very, very busy run up to Christmas because of the amount of items they've got listed. And some people are going to be able to manage to drip feed their orders through because that suits their lifestyle. I'm pitching this mostly to people who want to push to make this a full-time gig or make reselling something that substantially increases their income. It's very, very easy to get wrapped up in the melee of everything that's going on the run up to Christmas. But as part of looking after your own mental well-being, take care of your families and your loved ones as well. Make sure they're getting enough attention. Believe you me, it's very, very easy to get wrapped up in the absolute craziness that is Q4. Now, these are just 10 points of hopefully what is useful. A lot of it's obvious information, but useful information that can help motivate you into Q4 and stress the importance of it. Importance in so much as it's a massive opportunity. I can't stress this enough. Like I say, it's something that turned my life around. It's something that helped me realise that I didn't have to cripple myself working 100 hours a week to pay the bills at the end of the month. Reselling has enabled me to regain a large portion of my life and put me back in control of it. Nobody goes into reselling, particularly reselling on eBay, to become a millionaire. It's very, very difficult to scale unless you've got an army of people behind you. You're willing to start employing people and go down that route. However, it's a fantastic opportunity to give individuals, much like myself, a freedom to come and go as they please and still earn a wage. Now again, I'm going to be very, very brave with this video. If you take these points on board that I've been through, I guarantee you, come Christmas Day, you'll have a very, very, very large smile on your face, knowing that you've done a lot of trade in that time. Now, I really appreciate the time you guys take to watch these videos. It's a massive compliment seeing all the feedback I've been getting, all the comments on the videos and whatnot. The criticism as well as the compliments. Fortunately, there's more compliments than criticisms, but I don't mind the criticisms as well. I take it very well. It helps me develop the channel because I'm doing it for you guys. I get enjoyment out of providing this service. And as I've said for a very long time now, if I help just one person out of financial difficulty by providing this information, these eBay tips and tricks, then that is a massive, massive amount of kudos for me, and I'll be absolutely over the moon with just that. So if you found these videos useful, please smash that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel, helps us reach more people, and hopefully, like I say, helping people out of financial difficulties, that's the aim of the game. And beyond that, just help people generally improve their lifestyles. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider smashing that subscribe button as well. And if you click the notification bell next to it, you'll get a notification of every time I put up a new video. Thanks for sticking with this video to the end, guys. I've been Dave Keith. I will see you in the next one. Adios.